Let's go, dog. Oh, sorry.
Okay, Bobby. Okay, here we go. Okay, we have the quick. Let's get it. What? Okay, What? Wait! Bet. Yes. Oh. Bitch. Come on, bitch. Okay, don't. There you go. What? Wait, how long does... Ah! Oh! Hey, don't forget. Stop. Whoa! Checkpoint! What?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the DSP News 2nd Edition request line. I'm your host, GTG, and let's get right into it. Our third request so far is brought to us by Nell17. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. You have two videos, actually, that you requested, both by Snort Burnell. First one, Almighty Banners. This one was from May 8th of 2018. I think I remember that one, actually. That's when he had the troll art, when Dave or Phil had the troll art inside of his banners for Twitch and didn't know it. And then the second video, also by Snort Burnell, is another YouTube rant, no talking about the banners, and refunding $50. This is from May 11th of 2018. So that should be cool. And thank you very much to Nell17 for that. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. But your name will be on screen too, so that'll so hopefully that doesn't mess up too much of anything. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, as you guys know, it's a really festive season and whatnot, so you might hear some fireworks in the background and whatnot. And there's nothing wrong with that. Hopefully you guys 4th of July or 4th of July week/weekend goes out well for you. And it's super early when I'm trying to record all this stuff and they're already blasting them off. So isn't that something? Let's see. Do I have anything to mention to you guys? Nothing really, except for, like I said, I will get to all of your requests. And two people asked. One person asked on the channel, will I start, or when am I going to start doing Snort Burnell or Almighty Tevin videos? That'll be soon. I actually have a couple of them in mind. I just want to kind of knock out everything I already have lined up first. And I have a lot of stuff that I've already picked from Phil directly. I went straight into the gout to get it, so there's no need to kind of back out on it now. And I have a really large project coming up for you guys that I think you're really going to like, which is talks about something that no one really talks about anymore, and for good reason, because it's on a dead channel. It is what it is. But I think it's really fascinating to get some of the lore and some of the nonsense that was going on around this particular situation at that time. So I'm working on that. I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to do it. Shouldn't take long, maybe a few weeks. And I'm not sure if I'm going to give you guys just one large video, or I'm going to break it up into 2 or 3 parts, because as you guys know, I'm really long-winded. So we'll see, but hopefully you guys like it. And so that'll be like the first special project I'm doing for the channel. So it should be cool. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without any more delay, let's go ahead and get into the videos proper, shall we? I'll see you guys in just a second. Oh boy. And I better, actually, no, I think I need to get to these spare ribs too before I get ready to leave. All right, see you in a minute.
This is how I play the game.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, yet again, we're here with Snort Burnell, DsPgaming, Almighty Banners. This is from May 8th of 2018. Now, because of how this video is, right? And since, well, you'll see in just a second, this is going to give me some time to go ahead and work some stuff off behind the scenes, because I have a couple barbecues I need to go to. So I got to get to work. But don't worry, I will jump in as I'm supposed to. I'm just going to, you're going to hear some long stretches without me for a little while. It'll be all gravy, though. All right, see you in a minute.
epic fucking intro, dude. And I have to warn everyone. Warning. What you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting. Sound good?
Praise be to the Almighty.
The Good Samaritan.
You see these little banners that recently got made for the DSP by a fan? Yeah, these banners. Oh yeah, go to that. These banners have my face in them.
Man, I'm stupid.
And other inside jokes, which is fantastic. And I know Dave is gonna be so happy when someone else tells him about it. And you can, well, as of now, who knows how long that's gonna be the case. You can still go and see this. That's my face, blended in with this banner. I'm gonna tell you now, I didn't make these banners, and I wasn't planning on uploading this video or video showing this for a while, because I wanted to let the person that did it have their fun. But since they want to be petty, well, I can be petty back. I believe this is the rules, maybe. It's my face just blended on in there. This is, I think this is the same thing. Maybe. Face just blended on in there. You got the YouTube banner. If you zoom in a bunch, that's me, my face, upside down. So that's fucking based.
That's fucking based.
He agrees. You got the Teespring. You zoom in. It's barely something right here. It looked like it could be me, or maybe Panda Lee because of the eyebrows. I actually think that's Panda Lee. But I know it's one, yeah, it looked like she got glasses on. I think that's actually just Panda Lee face. Well.
Sound good?
That sounds great. I don't think the Patreon has anything. And this ain't the first time my face been in his fan art. He just never noticed it. And it's funny because he turned down fan art and say, oh, they try to hide images in my fan art. Now you probably can't see this, but you can go to his channel and find this. It's a little tiny black circle inside of that. That's my face with shades on. And I think I might have a bandana on my head. But he don't notice this. He really do need that 4K monitor.
Am I blind?
Oh snap! Yeah, I can't. Now I don't want to accidentally accuse anybody of anything. This is all long past. I can't remember if it was Third Eye the Third who was the one who was doing all that. I think he was doing the majority of the fan art, if I remember correctly. It might have been Third Eye. I don't know. I can't remember now and whatnot. But it was funny. But it wasn't just Third Eye. There's plenty of people who were submitting fan art that had the shadowing in there. It was just a thing that people did. And Phil, and keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are up on your DSP lore, after the false copyright claims on the fan art, he said he wasn't going to accept fan art anymore. He was just going to have the regular PS3 or PS4 background there, and that was it. With the wording on it saying, the stream's going to start soon, and that was it. That was the extent of Phil's creativity. And then eventually, people started to pay for his trust, and then he let all this happen. And then, he still lets fan art come in now. And some of his fan art's actually very, 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 very good. But it doesn't mean that there's any, there isn't a touch of the meme somewhere in there, right?
Because he has horrible eyes, apparently. So let's go back to these. This is the
I don't know if it's the fact that Phil has horrible eyes or he just don't care because it's free and whatnot. And so, it's neither here nor there. But this was pretty funny, though, when people ended up figuring this out.
I can't find anything in the Patreon. The tip jar, does the tip jar have something going on in it? Yes, it does. The tip jar picture was some fan art that he denied. It's him, it was him in a tub, like a bathtub, of bits with no shirt on, and he eating the bits. That's what that picture is. You got DSP vlogs. It's very blatantly my face there.
No matter what, I find a way. I find a way to survive. It's all about talent. It's all about talent.
I'm really hoping DSP played like 17D chess and pretended to not notice this, thinking it would turn into something. But man, his eyes are really bad if he didn't see that. Even zoomed out, you can see it. What the fuck? And subscribe, yet again, my face right there, plain as day. So I hope you like this video, DSP. And maybe sometimes you shouldn't be so petty. And if you want to be petty, don't accept free work from everybody under the sun. Because on the internet, you shouldn't trust everybody. Sounds good?
Or
Sounds fucking great.
I guess I'm not that smart.
I really hate you, but I cannot live without you if I try. I can't imagine life without you, ice cream.
Now see, if Phil, that's a nice one, Panda right there. That's blatant. If Phil was smart, he should have just kept, I would have let all this roll. Forget about it. You know what I'm saying? Just let it all go. It's funny. It's funny. It's no big deal. And like I said, that was probably happening long before this anyway. So he was better off just letting it go. It doesn't hurt him. It really don't. It's just, it's not even trolling. It's just funny. It really is. It only has as much power over you as you allow it to. But you know, Phil's sensitive about everything, so it is what it is. And most people wouldn't have even noticed it if there was any attention brought to it. And then most people are just gonna have a chuckle over it. They're gonna leave it alone. Or if nothing else, it will just inspire more people to do it, which people do it now. I don't know if any of his current fan art has any of it in there. It could, but I wouldn't know for sure. And even if it did, no one probably cares at this point. But yeah, he should just let it go. He should just let this all ride out.
You're so creamy, and I wish you never ended, ever. I can't imagine if you ended ice cream. Ice cream, I love you. Ice cream.
Shuck Morris says, if anyone recognizes you in public, do you assume they are a detractor or a fan? I assume they're a fan. At least a fan, or maybe someone who just likes seeing someone who they know from the internet. They may not necessarily be a huge fan of my content, but I assume if you meet someone in real life and they're going to say something to have an interaction with you, they're probably, it's more positive than anything else, right? I mean, yeah, maybe there's a novelty to just seeing someone from the internet in general, but, you know, no, I don't assume just because I meet someone in person, they're going to run up and kick me in the nards or anything, you know what I mean?
That's kind of funny that he would say that. First off, as it pertains to, especially in the state of Washington, there's a shitload of YouTubers out there, big ones, big YouTubers. I'm talking about people who have channels of 250,000 to up in the millions, or live out there in Seattle, or just in Washington State in general. I don't know if taxes are really good out there or whatever the case may be, but they all like living out there. So that is what that is. As it pertains to running into YouTubers in the street, that's not something completely uncommon, and there are very few people, I mean a really, really small percentage, that are going to run up on a YouTuber that they don't like and be obnoxious about it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's no need for that. You know what I'm saying? That person's not behind the mic. They're not, you know, behind their gameplay or whatever it is that they do on YouTube. It is what it is. And you'd be surprised that if you ever get a chance to meet a YouTuber in real life, they're actually pretty nice, to be perfectly honest with you. That's actually one of the knocks, not even one of the knocks, but one of the things that people say about Low Tier God. When you meet him in real life, he's actually a pretty nice guy. But that's neither here nor there. But as it pertains to Phil, though, that's not the case at all. He's scared shitless of everybody, fan or not. And that's the reason why he goes out. Remember, well, sorry, let me finish my point. That's the reason why he doesn't go out very often, and when he does, he has to go out with somebody else. That's why that's one of the reasons, at least I think, he was so desperate to get Kat there, to be honest. It was almost like when Lestat, like at the end of Interview with the Vampire, you know what I'm saying? When Lestat is in that, like, I don't know if it was like an old church or whatever it was, when Louis sensed him and walked in, and he was like, you know, if you stay with me, I'll be able to regain my strength and gain the confidence to go back out. It was kind of like Phil with Kat. Like, Phil's a vampire, and he's too scared to go out in public on his own because he's not strong enough, so he needs to go have someone go with him. But then it just creates codependency issues, which is what I think Louis, and I think that's what that part of the book really tries to emphasize, to be honest. Well as other things. But that's what it comes down to for Phil. He just doesn't want to, he's too scared to do it. That's why he only goes out once a week. That's why it has to always be with Kat. Think about, and I want you guys to really think about this clearly, those months that Phil was on his own. When after Panda had left and he had to do everything on his own. He was shopping at night. He was going out and doing his, air quotes, business at night. He very rarely went out during the day or even early in the morning. He was doing it in the evening, under the cover of darkness, like a rat. You know what I'm saying? This is the kind of person Phil Burnell is. You know what I mean? And he can't see very well either, which is kind of makes it dangerous for him to be out at night like that. But it's neither here nor there. Trust me, if someone ran up on Phil in real life, he'd be pretty terrified.
Dunks, considering they'd go to jail. So, Olivia Seward, that's how was dinner. It was all right. We had pasta. Pasta with my final batch of sauce. That was delicious.
Dilly Travers 89 did 100-bit cheer. Thank you very much. He also said Viva.
Don't worry, I got a video coming on that too. That sugary pasta sauce. I'll probably do a video for both channels on that one. So yeah, don't worry about that. It's sugary sauce.
Awesome. Probably another detractor meme, but hey, people are sending me money, so.
Anything for this, right?
But if that was true, then why do you ban every troll comment or troll cheer that you get, or donation? Just to put that into perspective, you know what I'm saying? If it's really just, if they're just trolls but it doesn't matter because they're giving you money, then why do you bitch and complain about it? I mean, even now he bitches and complains about it a little bit, but he's still quick to ban you over some dumb crap. I don't know. If you have that many trolls that are throwing money at you, just take it and move on with it. But that also opens up a theory. Excuse me, because at the time that I'm recording this, it's kind of been debunked. It's been debunked for a while, but it's being debunked that he has lost chargebacks, which we already knew this. We knew this back during that time with Mort. Okay, that's right around the time Panda left. And what did Phil get? About $112 worth of cheers, or whatever the case may be. And Mort did that over 2 months and then charged them all back. And Phil literally had to give up a day or an evening stream or whatever the case may be trying to fight him. And now it's a whole rigmarole in itself, but the point being is that Phil has lost chargebacks. Everybody does. Wings loses them a lot of guys do. You know what I'm saying? When you have that type of environment, you know, you may not lose all of them, but you lose most of them. Or, as I said with the King Tut situation, they broke even, meaning that Phil may have been able to keep his money, but Tut ended up getting his money back too. And Phil didn't want to acknowledge that because with that much money on the line, Phil didn't want to admit that you could beat him. He didn't want that at all. But recently, one of the guys who was doing the chargebacks actually put out his report that he ended up getting for his dispute, and it blatantly says that he won. But, you know, yet again, no one's surprised by any of this. But Phil had to keep up that persona. You know what I'm saying? That, oh, I'm untouchable, this, that, and the third, I win everything. And then he had to slowly but surely backtrack it, which is rather pathetic, to say the least.
My apologies if it's not a detractor meme, but the fact that I see people in the stream chat saying it and people cheering and saying it kind of makes me figure out that it kind of is, so.
And that's another thing, too. Any popular term that's ever coined on his streams immediately has to be a detractor meme. And it's funny, too, how he can almost point out, rather quickly, all of the Wings detractor memes, too, despite the fact that he don't watch Wings. Which makes it even funnier, because if any of you guys keep up with Liquid Richard, shouts out to Liquid Richard, he just put the last album out on, he just put his last album out, or at least that's what we all thought. At least the last album on Wings. You should definitely check it out. If I remember to, I'll leave a link in the description to it. But more importantly, in 2020, which is next year, he's thinking about doing or he's working on, I don't want to assume, but so let's say he's thinking about working on an album for DSP and Low Tier God, which would be dope. Now, it looks like it's going to be a crossover album between the two, and then I guess depending on how that goes, will he do an album on DSP solo, and then do a solo album on Low Tier God? There's a lot of material on both, so either way, 2020 should be a really good year either which way. But if I remember to, I'll leave the link in the description to Liquid Richard's last album. Shouts out to Liquid Richard. And shouts out to Sean Ranklin. Shouts out to everybody.
Echoes just did a 500-bit cheer. He said, "You should appropriate your detractors' memes of production. Viva la penne." I don't care about these stupid memes. I'm here to play games and have fun. I don't care about memes.
When I hear these kind of memes and shit going on, I'm like, oh, God, oh. It's like filthy. I feel filthy when I hear them. It's just so stupid.
Yeah, I'm a gamer! By the way, earlier today, someone said that they had won an extra PS4 they don't need, and they were going to offer to give it to me. I don't know if that was a serious offer or not. They said that earlier on the Bloodborne stream, and I told them, hey, if you guys are serious, that would help tremendously. Finally, no more audio issues, no more USB issues, you know, and if it's a PS4 Pro, then eventually I could probably, you know, get a better TV as well to take advantage of it, but I don't know,
yeah, the thirstiness that he had going on for this shit, for that PS4 Pro that he was campaigning for like a year. I think for a year he was begging for that damn thing. And then he finally got it, and then he said that someone donated a TV to him, and then didn't he backtrack and say that he actually donated the money for the TV? I never actually went over that video. I know I have it somewhere though, or I know where to find it anyway. But yeah, to make a long story short, it's believed one of two things. A, he ended up buying the PS4 Pro and the TV himself. Someone actually donated the PS4 Pro, but he actually bought the TV himself. Or three, there's actually three. Or someone actually just donated the money for both. But Phil's such a liar that I assume he paid for everything.
I told him to contact me via email. I haven't heard anything
And
yet.
either which way, it doesn't even matter, because his eyesight is still shit. You can tell that. One of the clear signs for that is the Mario Maker 2 playthrough that he's going through, which is fucking hilarious. And the... What's the other one? Oh, the Crash Bandicoot Team Racing. Seeing him bungle that shit up. So his eyesight is already garbage, and he's even sitting there and saying that, you know, the PS4 Pro is not exactly enhancing his gaming experience as of late, too. So, wasting money on that. Speaking of which, for anybody who likes to watch DSP, if you're here this long, or if you're someone who likes to troll over there, you guys should really tell him to try Logic's his actual level that he made and whatnot, which is open to the public. So actually, Phil would I feel like Phil would fuck that up for at least one night. He would end up screwing that up. If I I don't know where I think I saw it on Instagram or something. No, I saw it on Twitter because Dashie was playing another one of his levels. And he was having a fun time with that shit. But yeah, crazy stuff. If I can find it, I'll actually put it at the end of this video. If I can find it. But, funny stuff.
So, as usual, it's probably just, you know, a freaking, troll or whatever. Or maybe it wasn't. I don't know. We'll see. No. Jake Likes Cats said, didn't someone offer me a TV and I turned it down? No. What happened was someone offered, they said, Phil, if I send you a couple $100, can you put it towards the TV? And I said, real talk, no. If you send me money, it has to go towards bills and taxes.
It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
Because that's what I owe. I can't, you know, what's the point of me buying a new TV if I lose my house? So, sorry, you know, if someone actually donates something, like, for example, that guy earlier said, oh, I might donate a PS4. Okay, that's different. Because then you send me the PS4, now I have it, alright? But no, if you're going to be, you know, send me monetary stuff, I gotta put it towards the more important shit.
I need that money. I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
Fred Flintstone said, will I ever accept a music request? There's dead air at times. No. Reason being, my streams are, even though I'll say this is the exception to the rule when I play PUBG, my streams are meant to be focused on gameplay with interaction as part of that.
And they're doing this streaming, and they suck at games. They're not gaming because they're good. They're gaming because money comes in for it. And they're doing this constantly. I'm going to be doing a special day of streaming, all right? The purpose of which, quite frankly, being real with you guys, is to raise money. We need more money. We need more money. That's what this stream is about.
But I'm not going to risk having copyrighted music and then I get in trouble. Also, if I'm playing a game, there's no way that I could ever run music because I'm going to put these videos on YouTube and then the YouTube video will get either claimed or give me a copyright strike. No, I can't do that, guys. There's plenty of people out there who are casual streamers. They love doing music requests and stuff. That's fine. You can go watch them if you want, but that's not what I'm about.
It's gross.
There is non-copyright music out there, too. I don't know why I'm sure someone brought it up, but if they didn't, then, you know, shame on them. But he could have done that too. But Phil doesn't want anything on his streams that take away from Phil, to be honest. So if you have music, and if it's at least mildly decent, then you don't have to worry about listening to Phil. And then when Phil starts to talk, and he starts to bore you, as inevitably he's going to, you'll just ask for him to put the music back on, and then that's just going to make him more dejected. So keep that in mind too.
It's for this.
I will say that some music would better his streams, though, but, you know, Phil's Phil.
Not because they love what they're doing. It's not because for the love of the game or because they're true gamers. It's for this. And this is what it's become. It's not about putting out a quality review. It's not about putting out a quality playthrough or quality stream. It's about making this.
Dude, Digits Echoes, cheers. I don't give a heck like Slim Shady, but why not read more Detractor Cheers tips? Seems you don't make more money. You make more money that way. Because sadly, a lot of what they're trying to do is bait me into say stuff that's going to get me in trouble on Twitch, and I can't be in trouble, guys. Yeah, sorry. I love streaming. It's not only my hobby, but it's my job. And if I lose my ability to stream on Twitch, I can't pay my bills, and I'm in massive trouble.
I have no plans on stopping.
Which is funny, too, because he actually hates streaming, and he hates Twitch. The only reason why he does it is because it's the only way he can make money. He can't do it on YouTube anymore. So that's kind of a funny caveat to all of that, to be honest with you. He really doesn't. And if he was going to really stream, he would rather do it on YouTube, not Twitch. Even though, to be honest, he has way more protection on Twitch than he does YouTube. But that's neither here nor there. But you can tell he doesn't like it. Like, he's like, as the days go on, especially this is 2018, as the years have gone on, I should say, or as the years will go on, you'll see it more and more. Like, what does he do now on stream? He's doing dumb shit like crushing his plastic bottles. He's on his phone much more frequently. And at night, to be honest with you, he's literally just boring himself to sleep. Does that sound like an interactive streamer to you? And that's why I propose he needs to stop doing the night streams. He needs to just give them up, because they're not really, it's not beneficial over a period of time. The reason why he keeps doing it is because the chill streams bring in money, which that's arguable. I mean, that's, you know, I guess you could debate that if you want. It's debatable is what I should say. You can, but it's debatable whether they bring in more than the morning streams or whatnot. But either which way, he needs to cut all that out, or just stream during the day. You know what I'm saying? Instead of starting his stream in the morning at what, 10:45, 11, depending how drunk he is from the night before, he's just streamed like how he used to. I think he used to start his original streams at like 12 o'clock. So stream from like 12 to 6, and that's it. That's the end of the day. Then, you know what I'm saying, put the videos on YouTube. You'll be downstairs in enough time for Cat to make you dinner, and that's the end of your day. And then he could sleep in super late like you normally do. It would be no different, to be honest.
Time soon, guys. By the way, hint, hint. I prefer tips.
So I don't want to lose that ability just because I'm going to.
And now I think about it, he would have a better chance of having people being able to watch his stream during that 6-hour block, to be honest.
Out that they say, so I gotta be very careful. I have to read everything they say, be super careful. I don't slip with the tongue, and yeah.
What happened to the banners? Subscribe to the channel. I don't know what happened to the banners. The Bruce banners? Someone actually subscribed to the channel to say that too. What happened to the banners? They couldn't just do a 25-bit like cheer. They actually subscribed to the channel to say what happened to the banners.
I think the minimum now is like a 50-bit cheer, which was actually a smart move. He should actually just make the minimum 100-bit cheer, to be honest. But, you know, Phil's not that smart, you see.
Just Gamer Jump says, for Patron Choice, could you think about a collab with fans on a game?
No.
Well, that's not really what Patron Choice is. It's the ability for people who pledge to my Patreon to nominate and vote on games. So, unless they say, I want to see Phil do a collab in this game with people, it's not going to happen. And more than likely, it's not going to happen, so.
Why am I still playing this crap? Someone just asked.
Now, let's think about this for a minute. You wouldn't, first off, you don't want to collab with people, fair enough. if you want to drown on your own, go ahead. But you wouldn't want to be paid to play a game a multiplayer game, obviously, the way that you could collab with 1, 2, or 3 other people, and literally let them carry the load for you while you just sit back and collect the money. I mean, that was no different than what he was doing with Brian and Kekken for Apex Legends. Same shit. So, I mean, except for he just wasn't getting paid for it. But why not? Why not? That was dumb. He doesn't think things out, as far as I'm concerned. At least some things. I think he's so scared to lose everybody else's attention and want other people to outshine him, because somewhere down the line, if you guys were watching those few streams that Brian and Kekken were on, not Kekken so much, but Brian mainly, because Brian seems like the most decent person out of those 3. I think Phil was afraid that Brian was overshadowing him, but he knew that if he turned against Brian on stream or said some dumb shit in the chat or whatnot, or even in his mod chat, that people would turn against him. That's why he never did it. But that doesn't mean he didn't think about it, because Brian was getting a whole lot of juice on those streams, and Phil knew it. You know what I mean? Phil knew it. And throughout the week, people were like, hey, is Brian going to show up? Is Brian going to show up? Some of them even said, will Brian and Kekken be there? And Phil had no choice but to acknowledge it. He had to acknowledge it. And he tried to profit from it, but even though he was profiting off of it, it was irking him too. He just wasn't man enough to say it. And now he doesn't even want to play Apex Legends. Now he's saying, oh, it was a dead game, this, that, and the third. But if people are asking for it, that means there's a demand for it, yeah? So ask Brian and Kekken if they would be willing to play with you. Or Popsicolo, I think, if he's still there. And whatnot. If he's willing to jump in. Or whoever else was there, or whoever else they could have as an alternate. But he won't do it because, oh, the game is dead. The game is so dead, yet you have like 200 people asking you to play it.
Simple. Quick buck, quick buck, quick buck. Money, 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 money.
Well, possibly a couple hundred people asking you to play it. Let's just put that out there.
Money, 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 money. Plugs, plugs, plugs. Help me, money, money, money. The money is mine, and I want the money. Burn in hell, Burnell. And I'm going to burn in hell for the rest of eternity because of it. You can't change who you are, I guess. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil.
Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and move on to the next video, so I'll see you guys in just a second.
This is how to play the game! Oh my god! What the fuck?
Holy shit! That is an epic fucking intro, dude.
And I have to warn everyone, warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Sound good?
I'll let guy just shoot again. He says, let's play some...
Alright ladies and gentlemen, we're here yet again with Snort, DsPgaming. Another YouTube rant. No talking about banners and refunding $50. Oh wow. Like I said, from May 11th of 2018. Here we go.
Never achieved the popularity that they had in the 2011 to 2013 era. Do you think they can get there again? No.
Obviously.
No, I don't, and here's why. Here's the truth of the matter. I think, sadly, what YouTube has done is they have now trained an entire generation of people who enjoy content on the internet to only like a certain kind of content. This content must be heavily edited, highly quickly digestible, meaning you're not going to watch a long-form Let's Play anymore. Instead, you want a 5 to 20-minute edited video of the highlights of the best with, sadly, I hate to say it, a lot of the times, scripted comedy, silly visual effects, right? You're not looking for someone to legitimately play a game anymore when you watch a YouTube video. Instead, you're looking for some kind of a silly, edited montage with high production quality, where it's like, the hits just keep on coming, right? And the average YouTube viewer no longer values
Laziness.
raw, unedited content that is genuine. Instead, they want to be advertised to. And I hate to say that, but that is the truth of the matter, alright?
What the fuck? Okay, first things first. Ladies and gentlemen, there are YouTubers who are reinventing themselves every day, or they're tweaking their content on their channels and so on and so forth every day, and whatnot. YouTube is constantly changing. which is something that Phil has never liked. And it is what eventually ended up killing Phil's channel. Even whether you think DsPgaming is dead or not is completely up to you. It's subjective. But it's what really harmed his channel, is the fact that he wasn't willing to change when, you know, when the tides were turning, if you will. So that's the first thing. Second thing is, there are plenty of people who still put out an unedited playthrough. You know what I'm saying? Well, no, I can't say that. There are people that still put out raw playthrough, but they edit out a lot of the fails. You don't need to see someone die in the same place 10 or 15 times. It's a bit obnoxious. So they cut some of those situations out and whatnot, and they'll leave deaths at certain areas, but essentially they cut all that out. Phil will die 20 times in the exact same spot, and he keeps it in there because he doesn't want to edit it out. That's one of the things that's always screwed him over, is that he doesn't want to edit anything out. So it was lazy and it was easy. So that was the first thing. There are people who still do the raw Let's Plays. They just edit out some of the bullshit. They edit out some of the part that's just not necessary. There are channels like like MK Fire and Ice, for example, who still puts up a raw playthrough with commentary and without commentary. Because there's an audience for both. There's a lot of big channels that do Let's Plays or walkthroughs, however you want to go about it, and do that. They do a non-commentary and a commentary. There are speedrunners who do that now. Well, they've been doing that, where they do non-commentary speedruns and commentary speedruns. And those are 2 or 3 hours long at times, at least 2. It is what it is. The edited content's great, but you can have both. And Phil could have been at the forefront of both. Want to know why? Because Phil tried both at one time or another. And he didn't get the response that he wanted. He didn't get the views that he wanted because your audience and his reach was limited. I'm sorry, but that's what it was. His audience was limited and his research was limited. It is what it is. And so that's one of the things that really hurt him. But at the end of the day, Phil hurt himself. Now, YouTube obviously does want to wants to target, and I hate to say it that brutal, but does want to target a certain demographic or certain demographics for certain shit depending on the category. That's true, but that doesn't mean you still can't be successful. It's just Phil can't be successful the way he was, not without making major changes, and that's not what Phil wants. Phil wants it to be brain dead easy, and he's already had it too easy for a number of years. And every little change he made, he swore to God. He swore to Almighty that shit was something, that it was something excruciating. It was something that he went out of his way to do, and so on and so forth. But history has taught us, ladies and gentlemen, that every change that he's made is only because he had to. Because his back was against the wall and he had no other choice. He didn't do it for the benefit of the viewer. He did it to benefit himself. And don't let him tell you differently.
Want to be advertised to, all right? They don't care if the video they watch is a legitimate gamer enjoying a game and giving their valid opinions on it or not, or
no.
If they're
here's the thing, no one really cares about any of that. To be honest, well, that's not true. Let me take that back. I don't care about this whole genuine gamer thing. When I click on a video for a playthrough, I'm there to be entertained. That's it. If that person decides to bring up commentary of some sort, I would have already have seen some of it somewhere before, or I would be at least familiar with that individual, which would mean that I've already kind of built I have a general idea of what that individual's like, and so, you know what I'm saying, I'm just gonna go through it because, you know what, I'm already cool with what this person's saying. I'll just run with it. I may not even care about what the individual's saying in general. Like, it doesn't have any direct effect on my frame of mind or what my thought processes is. But I might not mind hearing this person's opinion. There's a lot of people on YouTube who I do not agree with on a lot of shit, but I still listen to them because they're entertaining. I don't need to get it. It doesn't need to be personal like that. It really don't. And that's what Phil wants. Phil wants you to take his word as the gospel. He believes that, oh, if you're not being genuine, you're not being this, that, and the third, and if you're just a shill, and this, that, and that, and this, that, and the third, you're actually hurting the consumer. But in actuality, everybody else has come to the realization that at the end of the day, you still have to make a choice. Look at the influencers. for example, in all categories of YouTube, no matter what they're selling or whatever the case may be, it's still just a choice. They're just giving you your opinion on it. Even when people are selling their own products, for example, or whatever, their own line of whatever, gamer chairs, makeup, you know what I'm saying, whatever deals that they have with whoever. At the end of the day, it's still just an opinion, and you still have to make a choice. He's in business. He should know this. You think being honest means a goddamn to anything? It don't. Because Phil can give you the most honest opinion he wants, and that still shouldn't have any real effect on you. You can, if you want to take his opinion as the gospel and move off of it, go ahead. But then again, your interest and Phil's interest are two separate things. You may agree with him on points, but that doesn't mean you guys have the same interest. So when Phil sits there and says, "Oh, these people don't have your well-being in mind when they're trying to promote this product to you, this, that, and the third, but I do," so on and so forth. Well, then why are you promoting this product then, Phil? And then that's when he starts to stumble. That's when things start to get shaky. Oh, well, they only do sponsorships, and they only shill this, that, and the third, but they already have money. But me, I have to do this because all the avenues are cut for me. So you're doing it strictly for profit. Right, Phil? You're saying it's big bank, take little bank. Big bank already has a bunch of money, and they're doing this to get more money. And you're little bank, and you have no money, apparently, allegedly, and you're doing this to gain more money. So you can be like the big banks, right? And the fact that no one ever really questions Phil's motives, or if they do, they instantly get banned or blocked, should tell you something. This whole genuine nonsense doesn't mean shit, and he knows it, but it's all he has. It's all he has. And he's scared that if he goes ahead and he drops it completely, that he'll lose everything. Here's the problem, ladies and gentlemen. He's almost lost everything already. Just to be honest with you. At the end of the day, YouTube's a business. There are plenty of people who do it for fun, but the moment money comes into this, in any way, shape, or form, it becomes a business. And that's whether you're doing it full-time or part-time. It still becomes a business because you're providing a product that people are willing to either willing to pay you directly through donations or PayPal or Streamlabs or whatever the case may be, or through advertisements or through sponsorships. And Phil, like I said, could have been at the forefront of a lot of that, and he chose not to. So you owe him no sympathy. You don't owe him anything. The opportunities were there, ladies and gentlemen. He chose not to. Just like with Lehman Brothers and whatnot before they ended up busting. They had plenty of opportunities to sell. There was plenty of people out there who were willing to buy that bank. And the director of that bank at the time, or whatnot, or the chairman of that bank, the money wasn't enough. The money wasn't enough, and they kept holding out. They kept holding out until it didn't look as good anymore. It didn't look like a very profitable investment. And then after a while, they just let it bust. Phil is no different. When the days have far surpassed and flown by Phil, where he could have been profitable. This is way before the trolls and haters and everything, the critics. Sorry, that's what I was going to call them. Critics and detractors. It's way before the critics and detractors allegedly screwed up all of his business opportunities. He turned them down himself. And the ones that he didn't turn down, it was because he was greedy and it was stuff that he could benefit from directly with little to no effort. That's not how you do business. And now all he has is crowdfunding with a fan base that's dwindling by the day. You don't owe Phil anything. Phil chose to play the game the way he played it. He chose to run his business the way he chose to run it. And in truth, he ran himself into the ground. And if other people can take his content and profit off of it and make names for themselves and catapult themselves further up and then do something else, then they should. But remember, the reason why Phil isn't profitable is because of him, not you.
Watching a paid advertisement, or if they're watching something that's completely fabricated. They don't care. They just want to sit there for 5 to 20 minutes, get a laugh, a guffaw, and then close the video. And that's sad, because when I started on YouTube, alright, 10 years ago, it was about where the passion...
And that's another reason why Phil... Thank you, Phil, for pointing that out. That's another reason why Phil fails. Because he hates Let me think about this for a minute. All right, I got it. He believes that the consumers of that product are idiots and are fools and are stupid, and he hates them for it. He hates them that they don't appreciate his opinion and his work, in air quotes, but they love these individuals over here. So he speaks down about them. He talks disrespectfully about them. Now, in his head, he's like, oh, well, if you're doing something stupid, I'm going to call you stupid. When in actuality, if someone's doing something wrong, you point it out and you can help them correct it if you want it to be corrected. If you want to just be someone that's going to just lambaste on somebody, then you don't give a shit. So if it comes back to you, you take what you give. But if you're someone who's legitimately trying to help them, or if you legitimately want people to see your point, you wouldn't word it that way. But see, that's the problem. Since Phil doesn't interact with anybody, since he's not sociable, since he's put himself into his hug box and or lock box, if you will, he doesn't know how to talk to people. He doesn't know how to speak to people. When people do something that he doesn't like, his first thought is to insult them. Now, is that part of his upbringing? More than likely, but that is how he believes. That's what he thinks. That's how he works. And the thing is Phil will also give you this caveat that, oh, well, I can say what I want about those people because they're not going to watch me anyway. The problem is, Phil, is some of those people might be willing to watch you. Some of them might even have done so. And then they hear what you say about them or what you think about them, and then they just go ahead and pick up and leave. And in a lot of ways, you reinforce their initial thought, knowing that you're a negative, or at least hearing your reputation of being a negative individual, that he's a waste of time anyway. He's a lost cause. He doesn't know how to treat people. He doesn't know how to act. Why would I spend my time on him? And this is well before your content even comes into play. You as the person are your content. You're monetizing yourself, and Phil never could see it that way. So when Phil talks about, oh, these new games are out and no one's watching me play them, this, that, and the third, oh, it's the game's fault, it's the game's fault. No, it's your fault. But Phil will never acknowledge that at all. Because if he does, then he has to admit that he's failed. And he's not man enough for that.
Content creators who care about what they do, they want to put out a quality, legitimate product, they have a passion for gaming, and this is what they want to do. That's not what you get on YouTube anymore. Now you get
the people who are in it for the money. That's like me. Right? That's like me.
the people who make the highly edited, streamlined video, only showcasing the best parts, so therefore you get your laugh and they make their buck, and then that's it. It doesn't matter if they actually represent the game fairly.
Listen to how upset he is. Listen to how upset he is. He was this upset too when this trend was starting, and because we've gone over a video that's roughly around that time period, and how much disdain he had for it. Even though, ladies and gentlemen, later on down the line, he tried to participate in it. The problem is he lacks the skill, and he lacks the drive to try to get better. If it's not brain dead, stupid easy from the hop, he doesn't want to do it. And that's, I think, sums up Phil Burnell, not only as the individual, but as a content creator, as a person.
Right? It's a completely just, I would say streamlined, but I hate to say it's not. It's pre-packaged. It's been created to be a digestible product for you. Much like what's happened with television, what's happened with movies. Everything's become overproduced and artificial. And that's what YouTube has become now. Either that or crappy drama videos. That's the other thing that also is highly propagated on YouTube. Crappy, lowbrow, insulting, puerile, toxic drama videos are the other thing that get pushed on YouTube. So you can either watch fake content or you can watch drama, garbage, toxic content. That's YouTube in a nutshell.
And not just the WWE. Snort Burnell brings up a good point with that with WWE. He used to watch reality TV shows too. All that shit's fake and scripted too. Phil is very much a representation of the time period he grew up in. And he never let it go. He never let it go. That's why the early years of YouTube, he talks about it with the admiration that he does, because it was a simpler time, if you will. It was an easy time, ladies and gentlemen. Little House on the Prairie type shit. It was a better time, and so on and so forth. And when the effort came in with people who had drive, who had talent, who had vision came in, Phil couldn't compete. The days of spamming YouTube with a bunch of fucking shitty videos, 30 to 50 a day, it didn't beat out what real talent and drive and hard work was willing to put in. And if it's one thing to have drive, and some people could say that. Some people are like, hey, GTG, I saw your last video. But don't you think Phil has drive because he was able to put out 30 to 50 videos a day? No. Well, no. Actually, I don't. He just conditioned himself to do it. It's not drive. Because real drive would, after a while, you start to come to the realization that I need to make the content better. And to do that, you have to evolve. And if you're going to evolve, that means you have to learn new skills. Or you have to be willing to try something different. Phil wasn't willing to do that. He's very much a regimented individual. Once he finds something that he's comfortable with doing, he just keeps doing it. He just keeps doing it. And if all fails, he'll try to switch to something else just to quiet people down. And if that gets a little bit of success, he'll stick with it. And once the success fails, he goes right back to the old shit again. He spent his entire time on YouTube making people believe that what he does is important, that what he does has a place, that what he does is entertainment. He has spent more time on YouTube doing that than actually putting out content, quality or otherwise, to be perfectly honest with you. He does it just because he's conditioned to do it. He's conditioned himself. That's not drive. That's not drive at all. Now, if you want to give him the credit of calling it drive, then so be it. I have no problem with that. But it's not drive. It's the same old repetition over and over and over. And he never got better. He never even tried to get better. Because why would he? So when he sees all these other people come in with all this talent, with this, that, and the third, he thought, that's way out of my realm. I don't have time for that because I've already regimented myself to do this. And all I need to do is put out more of it to squash all that out, and eventually I'll catch the views. And that's not what happened. It might have happened for a little while, but eventually it fell by the wayside because it's a practice that he can't win. If you don't believe me, look at what he does now. He's back to the hour-long videos, and he doesn't want to go back to the shorter videos because, one, the longer videos, though they're at his deficit, or at least he says that they are anyway, he can't go back now. He really can't. Because if he tries to go back to the 10-minute, 20-minute, or 30-minute long videos, he's going to screw himself. He knows it. He has very little people who watch him now. He'll have even less people watching later. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, it's supposed to be an archive channel. But then again, on the same hoof, he keeps saying that YouTube ad revenue is low. Views are low. This, that, and the third. How many videos did he say, or did he make for YouTube saying, hey, you guys need to step up? I'm just saying. Just trying to throw out some facts. Just trying to, make an argument. So I wouldn't say what he did or what he does has drive to it. It may have at one time, but it certainly doesn't now. He's just regimented. And he always has been to some extent and whatnot. But that's just my own personal opinion. And his disdain for other people and what they do, he could learn. Those people put YouTube videos out. He can watch them. You got to practice. Nothing comes overnight. Some people more than others. But he could learn. But he doesn't want to. He paid for Premiere, for Adobe Premiere for all those years, and never learned how to do anything outside of what? A B-roll, which he can do that in OBS, and then what else? A couple of transitions for the montages, and he quit that 2 years ago, if not longer. But yet he kept paying the $200 because he was regimented to do it. He was regimented to keep paying that $200 a year for Premiere just because he could say he has it. He may have not. It might have been automatically taken from him each year, and he just didn't care because he thought it was something small. Oh, eventually I'll use it, and he just never did.
Very different of how it used to be. So it's a sad state for someone like me. I became popular on the internet and known, and I'm a person now with notoriety and with what's the word I'm looking for? People know who I am because of the internet, because of my YouTube presence. But
You're living in the past. You need to move on.
How YouTube has changed so much for the worse. It's so funny. I got a comment, a question on Twitter the other day. All right. I got a question on Twitter the other day, and it was this: Phil, why did you turn off your YouTube comments? Now, this is someone who legitimately was watching my YouTube videos, probably for the first time, enjoyed them, and was just curious, why on earth don't I have comments enabled? And I gave him a very matter-of-fact response. I said, YouTube comments...
That's not true. Well, it could have been, but that doesn't necessarily... That might not necessarily be true at all. It could be someone who just doesn't watch your pre-streams and doesn't watch you bitching and complaining, who just, you know, who may have come to the realization, like, damn, why can't I comment on this video? Or a former fan, or a current fan, who just fell out of your content and just came back. There's a bunch of... there's a bunch of circumstances around a situation like that. You know what I mean? But, yet again, what does Phil consider legitimate over stuff that's illegitimate? You know what I mean? And he can't ever really explain that to you. And his pig-splaining is just not enough. You know what I mean? But that's the problem, though, too, ladies and gentlemen, is that Phil looks at everybody as an enemy. Everybody. Even the people who are regulars on his chat, he doesn't trust them. You know what I mean? And especially after that recent purge, or the last couple of purges, to be honest with you, as it pertains to mods and people of privileged positions, he can barely trust anybody now. He's too scared. He's too scared that they're going to somehow humiliate him in some way, shape, or form. And there's still former mods out there who are trying to make their way back, like Swaggins did. They could have released a bunch of information and they never did. So which is one of the reasons why I was saying, why are we going to praise any of these individuals when they haven't said nothing? Until a former supporter of Phil debriefs, they're just there, to be honest with you. Until they debrief, until they tell you something that you guys didn't know and whatnot, it is what it is. Now, some people could say, oh, well, did Brightside Viking debrief? When people ask him questions on Kiwi Farms, he answers them. He doesn't dance around the subject. So, whether willingly or otherwise, you know what I mean? And no one has a gun to his head, and he went to war with Kiwi Farms. And no one has a gun to his head over there saying, you better talk when people ask you questions. He just does it. You know what I mean? Some of these other guys, I mean, even if they don't come out willingly, if you ask them a question, what's the chances of them answering it? And then they're back over there with Phil less than a month later. That's all I'm saying.
Are mostly toxic and unmanageable. If you actually want to interact with me and see the real me, come watch me on a live stream and we can talk in the stream chat, or you can tweet me here on Twitter and we can have a fun interaction here. But YouTube comments are a lost cause. The website itself has become toxic. And the guy responded, he's like, fair enough. That's a really good answer, you know, and that's the truth about YouTube. YouTube has become a toxic place for people with no attention span to watch lowbrow garbage content. That's what YouTube is now. Yes, there are still people who are striving to try to make a living with valid content, and boy are they struggling, with the YouTube ad revenue plummeting, with videos being suppressed. Do you want to play the fucking game? Videos not showing up in related or in the YouTube search anymore. Trust me,
That's funny. That sounds like all of his circumstances, not really anybody else's. Not to say that other people don't have those problems, but unless he saw it on Twitter, he wouldn't know. So all he's doing is taking his situation and applying it to other people, like what he did was legitimate content. Like those shower videos, right, Phil?
So I know all about this. It's a nightmare. You know, I've been around before and longer than most content creators on YouTube, and especially the gamers on YouTube who are big today. I've been around longer and put out more content and worked harder in a lot of cases than a lot of these fucking people.
And yet they're by leaps and bounds ridiculously successful compared to you. And even with Apocalypse, none of them came out, well, not all of them, at least, came out and made videos bitching and complaining about ad revenue, please help me, so on and so forth. Yet you've been begging for a number of years. How does that work? So now, if one was to ask whose content is actually valid, I mean, how do you explain that? Oh, are you going to blame how their content's different from yours and that's why they're successful? Then why didn't you do it? Oh, you tried and you failed at it. Well, yeah, you failed at it. You failed because you quit. He just needed to keep up with it. Hell, he could have, I remember someone had said this a long time ago, he could have asked, had Panda learn how to edit his videos, and she could have done it. She could have been his in-house editor. She would have to learn how to do it, and at the time, she wasn't doing much of anything, really, so it would have worked out. And she could have been really, really good at it. But she never did. Whether because she thought she never saw any value in it, because Phil told her there wasn't any value in it, because that's what Phil does, or because it was never presented to her. Something to think about.
Wrong. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong. You're wrong.
But because they put out that super abridged, polished, garbage, fake content that YouTube wants to regurgitate and shove down your throat as a perfect example of what's good on YouTube, here I am where I am, and you get these idiots putting out garbage, toxic videos at the top of YouTube search. And that's what YouTube wants, I guess. You know, it's terrible. It's a terrible situation, it really is. And that's why I don't focus on YouTube anymore. You know, real talk. That's why I'm here with you guys on Twitch.
You know, I love Twitch. Twitch loves me and my streams.
Trying to do something completely different. I'm just tired of it. It's a losing battle trying to do anything on that fucking website. So.
Hashtag DsPositive 2018. Like, DSP is a pig with a party hat.
Oh yeah, I should say one final thing too, because I talked about this last night on Twitter. I want to say thank you to those of you guys who come and watch me on Twitch to play games that I enjoy. And what I mean by that is when I'm playing a game that's not a hot new release, you guys still show up and contribute and hang out with me and interact with me, and I love that. So, you know, right now, playing Dead Space 2, throwback playthrough. You guys are here to enjoy it and have fun with me, and you're contributing. This is awesome. I play Street Fighter, one of my favorite games of all time. You guys come in to contribute. Pretty awesome, right?
We need more money. We need more money. That's what this stream is about.
You guys come in to watch me play other classic throwbacks. Recently I did a redemption run of Bloodborne, right? Awesome. But why is it that on Twitch I can get, you know, people to watch me and enjoy no matter what I'm playing? They love it.
But then when I go on YouTube, no one will watch those videos. Views, views, views. I don't want to be Mr. Views. That's YouTube's fault, not mine. It's not that my views plummeted. It's that YouTube's ad revenue plummeted, not anything I did wrong. And I depend on ad revenue from YouTube to keep food on the table, to pay the bills. You know what I mean? The only videos that get any attention on YouTube are new releases, period. So, God of War did amazing, right? Far Cry 5 did really good. But when I play these other downtime playthroughs on YouTube, I could barely get 1,000 views on a playthrough. Wah, I'm not making ad revenue. Wah, I upload a ridiculous...
Well, there's a lot of problems with that, by the way. But let's just talk about the actual content itself. It's garbage. The content was garbage. Let's be perfectly honest with you. And God of War, if I remember correctly, didn't do that well. Because people were talking about how he was spamming the same move over and over again. And, if I remember correctly, didn't he make the excuse that, oh, the reason why he's not getting a lot of attention on the stream and on YouTube for God of War is because people wanted to play the game themselves. That must have came later on, though. So, you know, I'm jumping the gun a little bit. We're skewering the pig a little quickly on that one. That's the first thing. So, really, the content's garbage. It is what it is. Secondly, and I think this holds ground more than anything, is that Phil has no engagement. Most of the time, the likes and dislikes are disabled, and he doesn't have the chat open at all. And that right there is interaction. Interaction pushes engagement. He won't, since none of it's there, then people don't have a reason to go to his video. They can watch someone else do it and actually have some interaction. Now, Phil says that, oh, my fans told me to get rid of the chat, this, that, and the third, or not the chat, the comment section, and that's why things are the way they are. But we've gone over a video that he talks about how he has to always he used to have to always police the comment section, and if he didn't like what someone said, he blocked them. So, and then he later on, that evolved into, oh, the reason why I police my comment section is because people ask me to. Now he's saying that, and then now what carries the day is, oh, people ask me to go ahead and disable it, and the trolls and the haters and detractors, the critics and the detractors, old habits die hard. The critics and the detractors are the ones who told me, or the ones who made me, I should say, made me go ahead and do it because they were using my comments in their videos. Which, if I remember correctly, as of recent, maybe yesterday or the day before, someone asked, hey, why don't you just put the stream chat in your videos? Oh, I can't because, you know, the whole situation with the comment section, they'll do the same thing. Despite the fact that people clip his comment section all the time. You can go to Dark Dave Mirrors, who gives it to you raw. It's all there and whatnot with the sound effects and some of the other stuff that he adds. But you can see Phil's comment section right there, live in full effect. You can see it on LSB's streams, and you can see it on Almighty Tevin's streams too. And then you can clip it from any one of those three. Easy. Or you can just clip it from Phil's own stream. No problem. He's still losing. which is the reason why that person had put that comment out there. You might as well just go ahead and do it, just so people can see what the chat's saying. But he doesn't want you to see what the chat's saying, because all those bans that he does, all those lean-in manuals, or some of the shit that's said or whatnot, it's only going to make him look bad, and he knows that. He knows that, and he ignores a lot of the shit that goes on in his chat, especially the racist shit, the sexist shit, some of that bullshit. He lets a lot of that shit fly. He takes a look at it, and then he just turns away. And if the mods don't ban it, it's allowed to fly. It is what it is. So his fucking Nazi chat just keeps going on the way it does. He doesn't want that shit on YouTube. He doesn't want that shit at all. Because some of that, if one was inclined, people might consider that to have grounds to flag it. And also another thing that Phil likes to say about his chat is like, oh, well, if certain stuff is said in your chat, then your video could get demonetized, which is a dumb thing that YouTube is doing or is going to do either which way. Phil's really going to be fucked then. So, you know, pick your poison.
Videos to YouTube. Every day I'm uploading anywhere from like 15 to 30 videos, if not more. And the bottom line is, it doesn't matter. Like my Twitch, my YouTube videos are what they are. You know, I know for a fact my YouTube viewership has dwindled because I've been focusing way more on Twitch, in particular. So I know that not as many people go and
it was dwindling before that, to be honest. Phil's YouTube channel was in a decline from, like, let's see, I mean, shit, I'd say it was in a decline from 2000 into 2012, early 2013. I think I've done a video on that. If not, I have it coming out where he already talks about it. So he was in a decline back then, and he's been in a sharp decline well before the fake copyright strikes for the fan art came through. He was, it's just what Phil was going to be. He was constantly going to be in a decline. It is what it was. And then when he basically branded YouTube as an archive, you know, an archive site and an archive channel, that was the end of that. And more importantly, ladies and gentlemen, why does he not mind putting everything on YouTube, but he could literally archive all of his streams on Twitch itself? Oh, well, the reason why that is because all of the unrecorded stuff that you don't see, you know what I'm saying? A lot of those unrecorded shit that he doesn't, that he hasn't hit OBS on yet, he doesn't want that shit coming out. Even though it lands in detractive videos on the regular. He doesn't want that shit to come out because he doesn't want to get called out on it. And he doesn't want to spend the time going back and trying to cut it out himself. It's laziness.
On YouTube anymore. YouTube has been terrible. Views are down, revenue's down, everything's down. And it's like, what the fuck? Why is there such a big dichotomy of attention that I get between the two platforms? On Twitch, people actively like me. They want to see what I'm interested in, no matter what. If it's a new game, if it's an old game, no matter what it is, you guys want to see me enjoy myself. Splashed, and then it got on my hand. So my hand's like sticky. When people look me up on you know, on YouTube or on Twitch, isn't that the guy who had the accident?
He was the guy that got caught masturbating in front of children.
It's the guy watching his Twitch.
Is that really him? Is he the one that got caught, Matt?
Yes! Really? And play a fun game and challenge myself and be a part of that experience. On YouTube, I just want to watch the new game. And if it's not new, I'm not watching that. Like, what the hell kind of attitude is that? And that honestly really pisses me off. Because there's a ton of games that I enjoy and that I want to share with you guys, you know? And we're to the point now where I can't, you know, right now, the Dead Space 2 playthrough, when I started on Tuesday, the attendance was great, participation was great, all the feedback I got was, Phil, this playthrough so far is great, keep going, we love it. Then I go to YouTube, no one's watching the playthrough. Views, 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 I don't want to be Mr. Views. And I'm like, what the fuck? How could you have more of a completely opposing messages? You know what I mean?
Phil's such an idiot. So, like Snort Burnell said, maybe because those same people that are praising you have already watched it. But what's even more funny is, like I said, this was May 11th of 2018. At current, we're, let's see here, early July 4th of 2019, Phil's playing the new games on his first stream and can't get a look. Can't get a look at all. To where now he has to rotate them to the chill streams now. Now he's sitting there crying and complaining about, oh, there's no interaction. Oh, I can't play any new games because there's not enough new games to play. And all the ones that are new and that are out, you guys don't seem to like them. So I have to move them. So now he doesn't know what he's going to do on his morning streams anymore. Or at least for right now anyway. You see that shift or that decline that I had spoken about earlier? It is what it is.
That's why I'm glad that I'm diverse, and I do streaming plus on demand, and I do a variety of content. I mean, seriously, it pisses me off, but at least I know when I'm playing any game, I'm enjoying myself. You guys will be here to interact with me and have fun, and we have a good time. All right. So there you go. It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control. I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
That douche kid did a bunch of cheers. That douche kid, first of all, I'm appreciative of your cheers, but obviously you do not get the picture here. Probably the reason I'm not reading your cheers is because the thing you keep bringing up repeatedly is something that isn't important, probably has to do with something that's against the rules, and I'm not going to bring it up. So maybe you should just wise up and stop bringing it up. I appreciate your contributions, but after the third to fourth cheer where you keep asking about the same thing and I don't respond, you would think you would get the picture. I guess not. And all I got cheered again, he said, Let's Plays in the early 2010s used to be about YouTubers' personalities, and people have more patience. It's depressing where things have gone. I agree. I completely agree.
You mean I have to change my behavior? Alright, excuse me. Whew.
Now, if you were here earlier on the stream, and you're wondering, why is Phil now not mentioning this game, Conan Exiles, which was apparently gifted to me, right? Earlier on the stream, there was a $50 tip someone gave me to play this game. I said, if you either send me the code for it to play it on, say, PSN, or if you give me the money for it, I'll get it. Well, I had second thoughts for two various reasons. The first is apparently Conan Exiles is a game with nudity. Apparently there's the option to be full frontal, like complete nudity. Penis hanging out.
Oh! Easy to eat. Oh!
You know, boobs, vag, everything. That's not good. As you guys know, more than likely if I tried to play it that way, I'd get mass reported. I'd get in trouble not only here on Twitch, but also on YouTube. Now, apparently there is the option to censor that. You could turn that off, and then people wear loincloths. So it's kind of like partial nudity, but not full nudity. Would I still be at risk? Not nearly not as much as full nudity, obviously, but still it would be an issue. The other problem is, the game apparently is server-based, and obviously if people know, oh, Phil's on one of the non-nudity servers, they're just going to go to the one till they find the one I'm on, and then they're going to harass the shit out of me. Yeah, I'm a gamer! Much like when you guys remember, well, I think it was a couple years ago, 2 years ago? It was either 2 or 3 years ago, I don't even remember. I tried to play World of Warcraft. That did not go so well. People fished the servers till they found the server that I was fucking on, immediately joined and just trolled the shit out of me and made the game completely unplayable. So, after that experience, I was like, I've learned my lesson on these server-based games, and since the game, that seems to be what it is, I'm not gonna screw with it. I'm just not.
Why am I toxic? More toxic, over-dramatic, drama queen toxic.
I'm not gonna say, oh, let's spend $50 on a game that, number one, I might get in trouble for nudity, and number two, people are just gonna come harass the shit out of me, and it's not gonna be a fun experience. Alright? So, that was it. After I heard that, I said, that's enough.
And I refunded the guy his money. So FYI, the guy got his money back. What? 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 Oh my god! Oh my god! What was that? What was that?
It's funny how he calls other people who overreact, and kind of flail their arms around and Muppets and shit, and he does the exact same thing. And he's more blatant with it.
What? What? Oh my god!
What the fuck? Whoa! Whoa! I appreciate that he did upfront gift me that money to try to buy this game, but I really, honestly, number one, I didn't really have any interest in the game anyway. I'd never heard of it. Number two, the fact that there's so many...
Didn't he say in the last video, though, that you can't donate money directly to him for stuff like that? That he needs it to go straight to the bills and whatnot? If you buy him a PS4, a PS4, that's fine. Or if you buy him a TV directly, that's fine. But you can't send him money for a TV because he needs it to go straight to the bills. But this guy sends him $50 for a PS4 game, and he immediately turns it down. Maybe it's just me. I might be just nitpicking. That may have never even happened. That might have been just my imagination.
Factor involved, it just sounds like a waste of my time, and I'm not gonna bother with it. All right, I'm not. So there you go. There will be no Conan Exiles in the game or on the stream. There's no reason for it. All right.
What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh, easy to eat. Oh, Phil's.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the end of that. That was certainly interesting to say the very least. To be honest with you, I had forgotten a little bit about that banner situation, but that turned out to be one of the more funnier things to happen. Especially the fact that Phil was being an idiot, and he basically had Tevin come out and address it, which made Phil look like even more of an idiot. So there you guys go. The banner situation was hilarious. Phil should have left it up there. Who cares, to be honest? But Phil, you know, his pig skin is not as tough as other people, you see, or other pigs anyway. So there's the situation on that. As it pertains to the YouTube rant, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, it's the example of an old man who wants everything to be kind of just brain dead easy, and was mad, who was upset, who was truly pissed off and offended that people would come to a platform where they can express themselves, right? And be able to do the very thing that they're supposed to do. When you come up on YouTube, you're allowed to go, well, to an extent, to, you know, basically flush out your creativity and skills to your heart's content. And that's what they did. And Phil looks at that as, you guys screwed up the gaming section, because now everybody else expects us to do the exact same thing. And that's not necessarily true. There's room for everybody. But for Phil, for Phil to keep up, he needs to still make some changes. Does anybody expect him to spend multiple hours like a Snort Burnell or a Mighty D or a David Davison or a Volt Boy or a S. Julius Cruz? Did anybody expect him to go in, just to name a few, to go in Dipshit Phil? Did they expect Phil to go in and actually spend a lot of time to edit a video and make it super creative and all this? No. But people want you to edit out the dead parts and give us direct capture. And apparently that was just way too difficult. And that's the only two things they asked from him. And that wasn't a big deal. It really wasn't. And especially when he moved over to Washington, he could have had Panda do it. Go online, go on YouTube, really, build a couple of playlists for her, and then send it over to her and be like, hey, Panda, would you go through, look through all these lists, watch all these videos, and see what you can do for me? And there you go. So yes, there's going to be a delay on when the videos go out, but Panda could probably have come up with some amazing stuff if given a little bit of time. But Phil didn't even want to consider it, because Phil's not that smart, you see. And keep in mind, though, too, this is before Panda got a job. So, I mean, shit, Din needs to be on the table at 7. She's got cleaning to do. She's got laundry to do, because Lord knows Phil couldn't, work the washing machine until after she left his ass. I mean, she had a lot of chores. She had a lot of stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? What's the point of having a woman live with you if she can't do anything around the house? Right, Phil? Right, Phil? Just saying, Phil. So, there's that situation there. It's crazy thinking on his part, but, it is what it is. And the refunding the $50, I don't know. There's only one time I can ever remember Phil refunding anything, and that's just because I haven't actually looked, was, I think when Fred from SOK donated, like $5 or something along those lines, and Phil caught wind of it, or didn't catch wind of it, he saw it, and he refunded it back. So, there you go on that. Thank you yet again to Nell17. Hopefully I'm pronouncing your name right. Thank you very much for your request. I very much appreciate it. And like I said, we'll keep trucking through these. And yeah, it should be fun. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in. I very much appreciate it. Thank you for your requests. And like I said, I'll try to get them out in a timely manner. But I appreciate your patience. It's very much needed. And so on and so forth. Because I'm trying to juggle this and then some of the other content on this channel. And then a whole nother channel to worry about. Oh boy. And then a third channel out there too that I need to start messing with. Anyway, a lot to do. Hope you guys are doing well. Hopefully your 4th of July goes well. And so on and so forth. Despite the fact that this probably won't be out on the 4th of July. Because, I got stuff that I need to do and whatnot. I'm sure you guys have stuff to do too, and you don't need to be sitting here hearing my voice about this nonsense. But thank you very much. Either which way, this is DSP News 2nd edition, and I'll see you guys for the next video. I'm your host, GTG, and I'll see y'all later. Have a good 4th of July. Bye! Don't hurt yourselves or anybody else.